Hi, this is Eric, producer for Grief Hills. I just wanted to remind you that if you need links or to contact Lisa or to see questions for further reflection on each podcast episode, check the show notes. The show notes should be available on whatever platform you listen to this podcast. In this episode of Grief Hills, host Lisa Michelle Zega takes us on a deeply personal journey as she navigates significant life transitions. From preparing to move to a new home in Texas to honoring what would have been her wedding anniversary with her late fiancé, Chip, Lisa shares her raw and vulnerable experiences with remarkable openness. As she reflects on starting a new romantic relationship just months after Chip's passing, the emotional process of leaving her home of 6 years, and her ongoing commitment to supporting marginalized individuals, a powerful theme emerges: the transformative power of embracing one's grief and story rather than avoiding it. Lisa's reflections on the importance of gratitude, ritual, and moving into the depths of life and love offers listeners an intimate look at her path towards healing and growth. So that was the preview. Hope I didn't tell too much of the story. To hear it all for yourself, keep listening.
Welcome to another episode of Grief Heals, the podcast where we explore how it is that grief heals us with our relationship with ourselves, with one another, and our whole wide world. I am your host, Lisa Michelle Zega, and I am excited to have another conversation. Well, it is a brand new week, and I am excited for a brand new conversation. And I'm in a brand new place. Last time I recorded, it was sitting on the floor of my empty office. And this week, I am at a friend's house preparing for a class. I have a class all day online, and then I get on I'm leaving on a jet plane. I head to Texas, to Houston, Texas tomorrow morning, first thing. And yeah, that is what's going on. So, one of the things I recognized as I was saying goodbye to my home, the place that has housed me for the past 6 years, I had an awareness. Well, actually, I came to recognize this beforehand, but so my would have been wedding anniversary with Chip was September 27. And what I did in honor of that special day, right? Because he died 5 months before our wedding day, I already had my wedding dress. And I talked to a girlfriend, and we were just like, wow, what do I want to do? She was asking me what I wanted to do to celebrate in honor of this day, right? So we decided, I don't even know how it came to be, but we decided that I would get a group of girls, whoever wanted to come, just close friends, and I would wear my dress and Converse, and then other women could wear whatever they wanted. They could dress up, go thrift store shopping, go get prom dresses, whatever it was, and participate to whatever level they felt comfortable and come with me to Disneyland. And the gig was, we're wearing Converse, right? So even that was flexible. It's so funny the way that I answer the conversation in my head, and then I answer it out loud. And so for you or for anyone in conversation with me, it's like, what just happened? Well, that's what's happening is I'm conversing with you, and I'm conversing with me, and I talk to both at the at the same time oftentimes. So anyway, we went to Disneyland on September 27th. And then I do want to say this. It's just coming to mind, and I'll share this story. One of my girlfriends went to like there's a place on Main Street in Disneyland, right at the entrance, if you've not been there. And I don't know if I'm trying to think what people check in at Main Street for in this little office location. But one of my girlfriends went in there and she basically said, "Hey, this is what's going on and this is why we're here." And they invited us in and they made these pins for me that said Chip and Lisa Michelle forever. And then they invited us to this little room that I didn't know was there. It's kind of like a lounge right behind the main counter. And they walked us back to this back room. And I want to say it was myself and let's say 9 other women. And they walk us back there, and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse come, and they've obviously prepped Mickey and Minnie. They know that we're there, that this person has died, that we're honoring this would have been celebration. And Minnie Mouse, can I just tell you, I know that person inhabiting that costume had experienced loss and been present to loss. They don't talk, right? Like they're literally wearing the great big helmet heads of the Mickey Mouse character, the Minnie Mouse character. So they're not talking with us. There's no words exchanged. The heart language that was exchanged, she held me. I cried and cried and cried. She kept squeezing my hands. But again, she doesn't have real hands. She's wearing Minnie Mouse mittens, right? Like it's like, I can't explain the mysterious depth of connection. And the character that was Mickey Mouse, I mean, he was all in too, but whatever was going down between Minnie and I'll never, ever, ever forget it. And I don't know how long we hung out in there. They brought us refreshments, I want to say. They took pictures with us. Maybe we were in there 15 minutes, maybe it was 30. I'm not sure. It was magical. Like sincerely magical. And we had a wonderful day. And I was scheduled to stay in a hotel that night, and I didn't want to. I mentioned at the last podcast that the man, my husband, my current husband, and I had already started a relationship. And if you do the math, and I'll just do it for you, so you don't have to stretch. Basically, Chip died April 2nd. Now fast forward, it is September 27th. And so that's about 5, 6 months. I said I would do the math for you, but I'm not really counting on my fingers. And I was already scheduled to move in with my husband. So, my current husband. So that's only 5 months later, y'all, and I'm moving in with someone. And so I was eager. I felt just like a longing to get to my new home. I knew I would be starting a new job in the LA area in October 4th. So and I got there and Brent wasn't home yet. He was working. Until the wee hours of the morning. So I got there. I drove home in my wedding dress. I took it off. I rolled it up and I put it in a bag that I knew I would be donating to Goodwill the next day. So my first official night of moving into this new life really was September 27th. And my first full day there was September 28th. So my husband and my dog are already in Texas, and I will be joining them tomorrow. So here I was wrapping up my last week of work in LA. at least from this location, at least from living in the place I that housed me the last 6 years. And so I realized, wow, wait, my last night, 6 years later, in my home, September 27th. Like, you just can't make this stuff up, right? Like, I didn't plan this. I didn't try to work this out. My last day in my home, because I'm like I mentioned, taking a course and training the unconscious mind. Just in case you're wondering, Melissa Tears, I mentioned her coaching the unconscious mind. That is the training that I'm currently doing. So I will have class all day today as well, like an intensive. And so I did that there yesterday. And it was just like surreal, right? And I'm in this empty place with just I had a table and chairs left to do this, and I was with my girlfriend Jenna, and we stayed because we had been training in LA all week together, so we just made it a thing, right? Then we loaded up, left, and I said, I feel like I need to do a ritual, some sort of. I didn't do a ritual to enter myself into this space, but I knew instinctively that I wanted to do something in honor of this home as I was leaving. And we walked in, and I was like, Jenna, I don't know where to start. And she said, start with thanks. And so I went room by room, thanking this home for housing me, thanking it for housing all the memories. When I pictured my dog, Charlie, who Brent and I got like right before we got married, we got this dog gifted to us by my mom. He was a Jack Russell Terrier. And oh my gosh, Charlie, one ear went up, one went down. That was just the way he was. So much energy, greatest dog. And one day he woke up and he was paralyzed. And so I was picturing him in the home, and I just started crying and just thanking this home for housing my dog and the life that he had with us. And then I went room by room. I stood in my office and recognized, oh my gosh, this was the first office space that I had ever had that was my own, like not a shared office space, an office for my own business. Like it was just, and all the growth and all the changes, and gave thanks. I wept. I went and I thanked our son's room, my stepson, for housing these years of development for him, right? That brought him into his teens and all the way through to his 18th birthday, and all the growth for him, right? And all the love, and remembering where my husband proposed to me, and recognizing how powerful it is to bring like a thank you, to be in conversation with this home that I wasn't always appreciative of. I mean, there was a way in which we rented, and there were things that I would have just wanted updated, and like there were times where I looked down on my home, like I didn't celebrate it, right? And there's also an apology, because this home housed me, housed housed the people that I love, housed development, housed growth, and having the opportunity to say thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. That is, I realized I wasn't meaning to do this, but there's a practice called I'm not getting it right. Ho'opono ono, ho'opono ono, ho'opono ono. I'm like, am I saying this right? I'm not sure, and I'm not going to stop and look it up right now because, well, we don't need to edit this. But and it's this practice that is like, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And it's sometimes sung and chanted, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And even now telling you about it, there's part of me that's engaging that toward my home because it housed me. And that's making me think of just even the home, my body. My body has housed me now for all the years that I have, all the laps around the sun that I've inhabited this body to have the life that I have, to shed the tears that I've, cried, to give the hugs that I've hugged, to receive them, to make love, to eat and enjoy, oh my gosh, the most amazing food, to just have this life and thinking about this body even. Wow, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Like slowing down to recognize the things that I've taken for granted, the things that I've really held even in disdain, my own body. Oh my gosh, how often I've been so critical of her. And yet every good thing that I enjoy has come to me through this body. And talking about my house, that's just what got me there. And then the synchronicity, talking about like when I moved in and when I moved out, and how that was sandwiched so beautifully for me by this other house, the universe, right? Like I could not gift myself these gifts. And so just stopping and taking a moment to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Whether that's to myself, to my home, to my body, to my friends, to the planet. Wow. And there is such power in ritual, and there is such power in gratitude. And there is such just like, there is something about the holding, the way of holding and allowing a chapter to close. And so it begins a new journey. I know not exactly what. I know that I'm moving to Texas. I believe I know that. I know that I will still be working in California. There will be ways that, to the best of my understanding, I'll be living as a nomad. I am committed to continuing the work of working with individuals that have been marginalized, who are currently living in instability, who are transitioning to a new life. And yet, working with people who society, not just now, but historically has not favored. And there's just so much there. And I love meeting people just in the depths. That's like my favorite thing, because I love meeting myself and others in the rawness and realness of life. And I love honoring. You know what is so cool? And I think I'm going to end the podcast here because I just want to share with you that when I started my current romantic relationship, it was in the shadow of death. And I did not know what it meant, because it was like the shadow was so big. And it's like, what am I doing? And it's just, it is what it is. And I can say that now because I struggled so much. I wanted to be able to justify it for myself until finally I just embraced, hey, this is the life I've chosen. It's my life. I'm going to take all the glory, responsibility, like accountability, whatever, for my life. And I'm going to stand in my own story and own it. And only from that place have I been able to genuinely cooperate with God in creating something new. The fact that I can share that with an open space in my heart without making excuses and just saying it like it just rolls off my tongue, the freedom that I'm experiencing here, that's the power of moving into our story versus away from. Which, another way I think about that, that's the power of moving into our grief instead of away from it. And the reason I am passionate about this whole grief journey, what I'm really passionate about is life and love. And I have not known life and love the way that I now know it since entering on purpose my grief. So with that, I'm just going to invite us to take a breath together, breathing in, letting our exhale be longer than our inhale, breathing out. Just noticing the breath, noticing even how we are breathing and being breathed, how we are holding and being held. Yeah. Are you up for a hug? I know I am. If you're up for a hug, if you can safely spread your arms out wide. If you're driving, just know that I am bringing it in, wrapping my arms around you and me and holding us oh so tight with the confidence that we are all being held oh so tight. Yeah, just like that. All right. Mwah. Until next time, I am off to see the wizard. Why have I been singing lately? I don't know. There's a song in my heart. Okay. Take care. Mwah. Bye.
You've been listening to Grief Heals with Lisa Michelle Zega. The podcast is produced by me, Eric Simpson, in association with Jump Up and Down Productions. Music by Ken Dalian, Drunken Nights to Sunday Mornings, and Stefan Carlin, A Calming Ocean, A Common Notion. If you would like more information about the work Lisa does, point your browsers to legityou.com. That's LEGITYOU. Lisa can also be reached at Lisa Michelle at legityou.com. This has been a Jump Up and Down production.